Once upon a time, the cactus and the bird were in their nest in a tree. Then a monster showed up. The monster woke them up, and one of them...
Once upon a time, I worried I wouldn't have enough love for a second child. Yesterday was 1 year since I learned how love grows and multiplies. There is always enough. Love is enough.
Once upon a time, it rained for so long, the sewers burst and the whole yard was washed away. I didn't see the moon for days, and when the sun came out, it was a blurry smog haze. Then one day you came across the highway towards me and we met in the median, thigh-high in weeds and wildflowers. It was still pouring rain, but the clouds parted briefly, and I saw the moon sigh. Things will be bad, but they won't be as bad as before.
No.
Maybe Mom can help? You want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. You ready? Yeah. Once upon a time, the moon had a friend that was a butterfly. They were best friends and they go somewhere. And we go to the mall and get something to eat and buy stuff like a necklace. Then another butterfly friend, and they had so much fun and they love each other so much and they hugged. Today they went to the moon's house and tomorrow to the butterfly's house. The end.
The cow is in love with the moth, but the moth is interacting with other people, so the cow gets mad and he starts interacting with the bird, but then the moth gets jealous, so then they start to talk, and then the cow flies away with the moth because they're in love with each other.
Once upon a time, there was a boy in love with fighting. At every opportunity, in every corner, he searched for his chance to start a rumble. He will kick and spit and yell and hit until he found a way to reunite with his one passion. This did not come without consequences or poor effects for the boy. Slowly at first, and then rapidly, other children stopped playing with the boy. This is fine, he assured himself. I'm fine, he will repeat. Still had his love, he still had fighting. He had bruised knuckles and scraped knees and sore muscles, all reminders of his love of fighting. The boy was very lonely. The boy was still in love.
They ran across town. The monster hit one of them, and they both fell down. The bird screamed, "Help, help!" The monster showed up again and tried to tackle them. The cactus yelled, "Help!" again.
Can you tell us the story about the worm and the bird?
What was there? What was in there?
A worm and a bird.
Uh-huh.
And what did the worm do with the bird?
He took it.
She took the worm?
And then what did he do?
He threw it back in the ground.
And why did he do that?
Because it didn't taste good.
Good job.
Once upon a time, a woman with a broken heart walked into a bar, and the bartender saw her and fell in love with her. But the woman was very sad and couldn't see that the bartender loved her. So the bartender juggled fruit and told her jokes and asked her out to dinner, and finally the sad woman agreed to go out with the bartender. So they went on a date, and they told each other about their broken hearts. Then the bartender asked the woman to move away with him, and she said yes, and they lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, there was a moon man and a flower girl. They took in the whole thing and moved to the end.
What happened? What color was the pony?
Blue.
And where was it?
Yeah.
The pony where was the pony?
Up in the sky.
And then what did the pony see?
A rock.
And then what did she do with the rock?
She juggled.
And then where'd she go?
To a circus.
And what did she do at the circus?
She juggled us.
And that's your story.
Once upon a time, castle that had a princess. A beautiful dog. It had pink polka dots. And I have to finish it.
That's okay.
The moon told me that it wanted to get married. I said I didn't really think marriage is my thing, at least not in the traditional sense. The moon looked at me for a long while. Years later, I still think about that afternoon. What was the moon doing out anyway?
Once upon a time, there was a girl who swam a lot. She swam 12 hours a week, and she loved swimming. She thought she wanted to swim forever, but instead she decided that she was going to quit. The girl then realized that love comes in all different forms, people, places, or things. She sat on her swing and thought about what love meant. She said she loved watermelons, swimming, being outside, reading, and especially writing. Sometimes it's hard, but remember that love has no borders and can be people, but it can also be things or even places. The girl then realized that the true meaning of love is happiness.
Once upon a time, I met a girl who loved flowers. I wrote her a card asking her how her garden grew. She had a garden even though she was renting a crummy apartment in Greensboro, North Carolina. I fell in love with her and we got married. Now we live amidst her amazing garden in a big yellow house. She not only has the garden but makes flowers out of glass. These flowers remind me of her.
Once upon a go, a baby horse can fly because the mother leads, and when the butterfly comes, they teach the baby how to fly. And when the mother horse came back, it was proud of the butterfly, and the butterfly went away saying thank you and joy and lots. And I hope you have a good life.
Once upon a time, there was a cat, and still is, since he's still alive, named Stinkbutt, a.k.a. Chewy for Chewbacca, because he looked like one. He got the name Stinkbutt because he refused to let you pull the turds out of his long furry hair that grew on his butt. When he was a tiny kitten, he decided he loved his foster family and wanted to live with them, especially like the big stinky guy, Johnny. So he would sit on his belly at night and meow loudly until Johnny tickled his chin. A little later on, Stinkbutt, SB for short, found out he liked to rub his belly on John's arm and meow and purr loud and clear. Whenever John had to go out for the day and was putting on his shoes, SB would tug on the shoelaces to try and keep Johnny from putting on his shoes. When John got his shoes on, SB would give a pathetic little meow and look with pleading eyes telling John not to leave him for the day.
Once a princess and rat and a deer were having a big fight. The deer kicked the rat. The rat jumped on the deer. The princess won. The end.
Once upon a time, back when I was living in Kansas City, a random email from one of those internet dating services popped up. I was about to delete it when I thought to myself, hey, maybe I should check this out. My crazy teenage daughter had just graduated from high school, and I thought to myself that just maybe it was time to look for love. I checked out the ones in the local area, dated one person, but she ended up being an NRA nut with rifles in every room of her house. Started looking further afield. That's when I found Annie in Pittsburgh. My first reaction was, she's so smart, she's so funny, she's so cute, but she lives so far away. We met that summer just after I dropped the crazy teenage daughter off at college, and 5 years later, we're living together in Pittsburgh. So salute to Annie, the love of my life. She's still smart, she's still funny, and still cute, but fortunately, not so far away.
Once upon a time, there was a hand, a monster, and a bird. The hand and the bird were scared of the monster, so they flew and crawled away. But the monster was nice, and he thought they were playing a game, and he went after them. The end.
Once upon a time, there was a bee and a monster. One night, the bee snuck up on the monster and stung it. In the morning, the monster saw a red bump. Then the bee apologized. Then they lived happily ever after. The end.
Once upon a time, the moon was shining bright, but he was lonely and wanted some company. A pretty glowing neon butterfly fluttered up to the moon, looking for someone to play with. The moon noticed her glowing wings and asked her to play. They played for hours in the light of the moon. As the sun started to come up, the moon faded and the butterfly lost her glow. The butterfly started to flutter away and said, "I'll come back tomorrow night." From then on, the moon and the glowing butterfly played every night. They were the light of each other's life.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful woman.
Her jewels were stolen by evil pirate rats.
But then, she hit the rats so hard they flew.
Then a cactus tried to calm her and went to get the jewels.
2 years later, year, they got married. The end.
The end. Once upon a time, there was a T-Rex. He ate everything in his path. He had an egg. He took care of it. One day, an egg thief tried to steal the egg. But the T-Rex always stopped it. When the egg hatched, the T-Rex took very good care of it. The end.
What is love? Love is the blush on your cheeks and the butterflies in your stomach. Love is the shortness of breath and awkward conversations when you face your love. It's the passion through your veins. It's falling head over heels in love, and it's strength to walk away. Love is romantic and powerful, but it's dark and all-consuming. You have love for your partner, but you also have love for your family, friends, and pets. Love is for those brave enough to find it, and for those learning to love themselves. Love is beautiful and giving, but love can destroy. What is love? Above all, to love, whether it's love for people, places, things, or ideas. To love is to live.